You make a small mistake, and immediately the voice appears. That was stupid. You should have done better. Why are you like this? No one else says anything, but your mind does. Relentlessly. It replays the moment, zooms in on the flaw, ignores everything you did right. Why? Why are you so much harsher on yourself than anyone else? Self-criticism doesn't come out of nowhere. It usually starts as protection. At some point in your life, being criticized hurt. Maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a sibling, a group of peers. You learned that mistakes led to embarrassment. Failure led to disappointment. Imperfection led to rejection. So your brain adapted. If I criticize myself first, no one else can hurt me more. The inner critic was born as a shield. If you point out your flaws first, you feel prepared. If you lower expectations first, you won't be crushed by them. If you push yourself harder than anyone else, maybe you'll finally be good enough. It feels like discipline, but it's often fear in disguise. Fear of not being enough, fear of being exposed, fear of losing approval. Over time, that protective voice becomes automatic. You don't even notice it anymore. It sounds like truth, but it's not truth. It's conditioning. There's also another layer, perfectionism. Somewhere along the way, you equated worth with performance. If you succeed, you're valuable. If you fail, you're flawed. So every mistake feels personal. Not, I did something wrong, but I am something wrong. That shift is subtle, but it's powerful. When identity fuses with performance, self-criticism becomes constant, because no human performs perfectly. And here's the paradox. You think being hard on yourself will make you better. You think self-criticism keeps you sharp. But research shows something different. Harsh inner dialogue doesn't increase growth. It increases anxiety. It narrows creativity. It drains motivation. When you feel attacked even by yourself, your nervous system goes into defense mode. And growth rarely happens in defense. It happens in safety. Another reason you criticize yourself? Control. If everything is your fault, then everything is within your control. It's painful but predictable. Blaming yourself feels safer than accepting uncertainty. Because if it's all your fault, then theoretically, you can fix it. But sometimes, things aren't entirely your fault. And accepting that requires vulnerability. Self-criticism can also feel familiar. If you grew up around criticism, it may feel like the normal tone of love. Gentleness might even feel uncomfortable, suspicious, like you're letting yourself off the hook. But there's a difference between accountability and attack. Accountability says, that didn't work. Let's adjust. Self-criticism says, that didn't work. You're a failure. One leads to growth. The other leads to shame. And shame rarely creates sustainable change. So what shifts this pattern? First, awareness. Notice the tone of your inner voice. Would you speak that way to someone you love? If not, why is it acceptable toward yourself? Second, separate behavior from identity. You made a mistake. You are not a mistake. You failed at something. You are not a failure. That distinction changes everything. Third, understand this. You don't need to bully yourself into becoming better. Growth does not require self-hatred. It requires honesty with compassion. And compassion is not weakness. It's psychological strength. When you replace, what's wrong with me, with what happened and what can I learn, your brain shifts from shame to problem solving. That's where real improvement lives. The goal isn't to silence your inner critic completely. It's to transform it from a harsh judge into a wise coach, one that corrects you without humiliating you, because you are going to make mistakes. You are going to fall short sometimes. You are human. The question is not whether you'll fail. The question is, when you do, will you attack yourself or support yourself? The voice inside your head will shape your entire life. Make sure it's not your biggest enemy. Make sure it becomes your safest place to land. If this video resonated with you, and you're looking for a space where the mind is explored without judgment, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we don't label, we listen, understand, and heal. May your mind find stillness. May you find courage in imperfection. And may you remember, even in your most anxious moments, you are worthy of peace.